out, but that's Cyber Legacy. Moving on to Viking on the bot lane now. Viking, however, creep wave under the tower, which is really all they wanted from this. Maybe if there's another creep wave, Pango will show again. Maybe Pango doesn't even have to show. Aramis and down he goes. Aramis will show as well. Will get though. Creep wave rolling under the tower and teleporting out of there. Nicely played by Viking, creating a lot of space for blue free foes. Off the net worth chart with a bit of a gold. Now. Meepo just a little bit away from the Ethereal Blade, which is going to give him a lot of damage.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
We're going to see when we're going to float. Meepo will escape them at the lane with like 3 heroes over there, which leaves Boom exposed in the mid lane potentially. At the very, that's what Cyber Legacy are thinking. I can. But it looks like they're not gonna jump Boom even with nuking down the wave, going for jungle creeps itself, and it looks like Boom just gonna be safe, just gonna reach Meepo, keep farming up. Whether or not Meepo can be caught, that's a big factor in the game.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff win.
Bottom lane, Viking, the aggressor.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tier 2 tower in exchange out of this. And
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff win. Dire's top tower is about to take the flood. Radiant's
going for who almost getting caught by Legacy. Went forward with an aggressive gank, will now end up fighting Celery. Celery not the high value kill they want to go for. They see Shad teleporting in. Out of there. Meanwhile,
Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
He would love that tower to target. Okay, maybe. Tango coming.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Main outmaneuvered here. Yeah, Meepo is farming, but Cyber Legacy, who really are playing with the map, are just guiding their opponents around, not just throughout those fights. And I mean, oh boy, look at you being caught. Down goes Tango, down goes top tier 2 tower. That is one objective. But tier 2 tower may go down, symmetrical there.
Dire's top tower is gone. Radiant's
Cyber Legacy
is under attack.
The gold network back around, got a smoke up now towards the mid lane. Potentially end up finding a couple of kills. Lantimos will accelerate off, warning with him. Up on that high ground.
Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
Blindly. They're fine in every regard.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Pretty well, and you don't really see that a lot on the Ricky. Bot lane, Aramis.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Scan.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What's gonna happen though? Viking looking up, looking to find a potential kill here. Target with this rotation, Aramis.
Dire's middle tower is under pressure, standing for
and that's just Lantimos going to town. Putting up Aramis is there, shot into the face of Ricky. Ricky gonna go down now. And it looks like Ricky gonna be the next ball. gonna show that off. Kill up 3 of Cyber Legacy's heroes here. Looks like Boom almost finding more on the Queen of Pain, but Queen of Pain got the BKB ready in time and scares off the Meepo. But tier 2 to be falling here, however, to Pangoliers push well. No, he got too low.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
it looks like
faces a
Dota is
stiff
not
win.
quite as aggressive as I had hoped. But it's really just a matter of time for the Boom Meepo. Caught again. Once again by Talentamos with double damage rune this time to make him drop even quicker.
Radiant's bottom tower has rung its last bell.
Taken by Cyber Legacy here. Roche with the backstab.
Radiant's bottom tower
Viking, they have other objectives in mind.
Radiant
They could just trade
fortification
or
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like Viking wants to start chipping away faster and faster. Like just defense. Slide.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff win.
That hasn't quite finished off the tower. Finished off the Roshan. Pulling the gold back around to their favorite. Yeah, Viking. They have a nice push there with the exorcism, but now all have to back up. All have to wait for their cooldowns to be up again in synergy. The roll is still ready though. Perfect for disengage, perfect for just turning around on the enemy if they're chasing you around. Still, I think Team Viking, they just gotta bide their time. Wait, I'm gonna give the Russian caster a ping back because he gets it as well. He knows that as well as I do. Ah, damn, I can't ping out the Death Prophet a bit. Viking, I think like they're just gonna cheese this, just as people did in the olden days. Get your down to Death Prophet, wait for ultimate to be on cooldown, go push, go retreat, rinse and repeat. That opting for Shivas to keep him alive. Boom. Got the Skadi finished, now saving up for a Silver Edge. That's huge for bringing all the Meepos in there. The Drake can be really important as well, can also be pretty much pointless. Nerf Spirit. Anything that allows you to jump
Radiant's
all over the map, just kill something. Makes him a great dirty hero. Meanwhile, looks like last hero gonna take care of that tier 1 tower fight.
Bottom tower
Will now get run down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is about to flounder. Radiant's middle tower can't handle this deluge.
You handle such power.
Dire's bottom tower won't last long. Dire structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So the Dire base is getting pushed in and
Dire's bottom
It
tower
seems to be
has
pretty good
fallen.
considering they have no designated building hit. I mean, I guess Centaur qualifies up to a certain degree, and
Radiant's
last hero,
top tower is under attack.
he's just such a beefy pet Centaur too.
Radiant's top tower is on the rocks.
Hell, this game really going in his favor, and Cyber Legacy
Radiant's
moving
top
up.
tower has
Meanwhile,
fallen.
Viking, they are rationing their push here. carefully outmaneuvering the side of Cyber Legacy over and over. One tower will get a good control. Spirit wants the kill on Celery. Gonna miss the roll on Celery. Just gonna teleport out of there. Cyber Legacy. Wanna push all of those lanes back out. And he can kill their territory as well, but Viking not gonna make it as easy as Boom deliver them. Then again, do keep in mind that Ricky falls off, but I don't think Boom is gonna have a chance to fall off here as he really just wants to keep stick. And after that, go ahead and finish the game, because that's basically what the Sheepstick will allow him to do. One clean sweep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire have the spyglass at hand.
They get shit mid-tier 2 tower. Bit by bit. He's saving up for that Aghanim Scepter. I mean, if you want to buy an Aghanim, buy it before it doesn't be relevant. Right now,
Dire's middle tower is drowning.
Mid-tier 2 tower almost down. Viking, they are losing ground more and more, but they really just want the Sheepstick on Boom, and if Boom can get that before getting caught again. Next time he gets caught, the Hunter, maybe the Hunter, he just likes to do that, and then you get shanked by 4 midgets who are cheeky, man. Holy crap, imagine this thing running at you in a dark alley though. With like a crystal that's just freaking... Epo approaching the Sheepstick more and more. Also, apparently Renzek doesn't scale on Int. That is too bad, but that would make the Sheepstick and items like it way too powerful for Epo. I mean, hell, it's not like I have Skadi doesn't already give you a ton of Int, but it's really fun to see which things just accidentally scale exponentially and can be abused. Spell damage amplification. Nope.
Team Secret's turn to ban.
It's
yeah, he did.
What was it? Alliance?
Yep.
I thought he played really aggressive. In his own right, Tanner is kind of coming into his own. They've got to win a few things first, and maybe this is where it starts.
And if nerfs are ever going to come into a question, it's going to be against Team Secret. Right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
This is a team that is just intimidating, especially in the middle of a DPC season where they always come into their own.
I'll say that a lot of teams, when you beat them, you don't care too much because everyone just says it's on online or like a group stage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think beating Secret, and it's just like beating Secret straight up, if you 2-1-2-0 them, I think that's impressive in itself. I think that's the one in this tournament, like if you get to take down Secret, groups or otherwise, like they rarely lose online games because they're so used to playing them, right? They boot camp from home, they're used to this environment, and their individual skill level is always so high, and they keep it at such a high level that I think they're in a good spot at all times. So if an IP can actually do this, I'd be really impressed.
Yeah, and let's be real, even though I am hype and I love PPD as much, for me, like Secret is just like 80-20 favored, if not more. Like this should be easy for Secret, I hate to say, but NIP, as you said, like sometimes games just are won in a draft. Can PPD just get an outsmart? You never know. Like there could just be a swerve. You know, you get Tanner, a TA.
It's not just your words that are going into this, right? It's Peter's himself. He said that he said we're probably the weaker teams in the group when he was referencing himself and Alliance.
Yeah, he said bottom 4. He thinks they are.
Where are we then?
Well, you would be at the bottom of the bottom 4.
No, we're just kidding, Liz. But, you know, Keeper of the Light first pick. There is no Ember, so you can't pair that up, luckily. But Centaur Grimstroke, I like that opening. It's solid.
I think Centaur, he works well against Caudle in the laning phase, but I think as game goes on, the Stampede, it's actually really annoying. The flicker, like once it comes on, it like stops you in your tracks, deer in the headlights look. Secret are going to pick up Tusk for themselves. Good laner against Centaur. I feel like Tusk is the anti-strength melee laner. Like, he's just really all times. You can go and try.
He's like the only one who does, as you say. Like, you just pop tag team, you have one, even just one other hero with you. All of a sudden, that's 75%.
You gather the boys. You tell them to get in.
Get in here, getting the snowball, getting the tag team. We're ready to go.
Just punch the shit out of him.
Yeah. He also covers up Keeper of the Light's weaknesses, right? So you don't have like direct stuns coming out from Coddle until Will-O-Wisp, and that's a longer cooldown. Tusk, 2 different stuns, both low cooldown, and he's got a block in the Ice Shards, which can actually synergize really well with Keeper of the Light Will-O-Wisp.
And his ulti is nice for damage too. It's underrated. And you have a Spirit Vessel builder in him too if you need to, in a pinch, depending on what the rest of NIP's draft looks like.
So from your perspective as a drafter, Blitz, is there any weaknesses to this duo?
To Call Tusk?
Yeah.
Well, I said like his punch is pretty good for DPS, but you also have to get it off. So like the amount of damage that they put out is not excellent. Their reach is pretty good. I think Coddle, like with his cast range and like the Will-O-Wisp, is actually much better than people realize. And Tusk is also really good at gap closing. But if NIP just like aura up on the Centaur and he has a good laning phase, like he gets an early pipe and all that, it is going to be kind of hard to take him down, depending on what the rest of your heroes look like.
I mean, if you fall behind, because Keeper of the Light is going to be the 5, Tusk more. I mean, it could be Zai, obviously, but you can't catch back up on Tusk. You have Snowball Shards, but the whole point is you want to use those to get kills, right? We saw Seb yesterday on his offlane one. He had a Solar Crest for what? Like, he had boots Solar Crest for like 25 minutes after that and didn't get another item. It's really hard to catch up on that hero.
It's also not like hyper efficient at farming. Just constantly like snowball ice sharding. Like you don't have the mana pool or the mana regen to really support it. And maybe it helps if you have Coddle, but like Coddle will then swerve into taking all the waves.
Yeah, he's like, wait, I can just use it on myself and take these. You don't need it.
Peter said this Coddle hero seems pretty broken. Now, he did give it to them.
He did.
But he's banned away a lot of the best combo heroes. He took away the Bristleback in the first phase, as well as the Ember Spirit. In the second phase, they've now taken away Nisha's Medusa, which is another hero. Well, I guess it's Madama Man's Medusa now. But another hero that significantly benefits from having Coddle on his team.
Yeah. I think just in general, this draft is so much different. There is one support hero banned. That's it. Everything else is a core. And we just haven't really seen that much. And all right, there's the Earth Spirit. The Milan Earth Spirit. I really like this opening from NIP. I think it's just because it does everything. You have Grimstroke, Earth Spirit. You can get a lot of kills in the laning phase. You have Centaur. We've seen 5-minute Vanguards. Like, you're not killing that hero if you get off to a good start. I think it's just very solid.
2 heroes that can get into the back line, and I think that can be all important when shutting down the Keeper of the Light. When you try and initiate on something, you know that Will-O-Wisp is coming, or Spirit has this great range silence.
Dire's turn. I speak for the trees.
There's a Nature's Prophet.
Maybe I'm just crazy because like both teams draft. It's all because of last series where I like didn't really like either teams a lot of the time, but here it's just like maybe I'm just a slave to the meta. I don't know.
I feel it. No, I know what you mean, especially with Ninjas and Pajamas, because I know they can fight always.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe because they're always able to fight, that Team Secret pick up this Nature's Prophet. Well, split pushing, but as a core, can actually get a little down and dirty at times.
Oh, yeah. One of the few who still can do that global potential with the nerf to the bots, though. And we just see every time it's a core Nature's Prophet, they're farmed straight up. Whether it's in a huff lane or whether it's a safe laner, you will get your farm and you will own.
Yeah, I really like this hero nowadays. I think he's really versatile. He can be played in multiple roles. We saw him today alone. We saw him play as a 5, a mid, and a off laner.
Yeah, it's always fun when heroes can do that. I think we've seen people have tried to do that with Weaver, not so successful. It feels like Weaver's just like into that 4 role now, which is kind of funny, but let's see, NIP, they get that overall last pick, so we'll see if they want to give Tanner the good matchup or Hawk the good matchup. You already have a Nature's Prophet, so it's already kind of hard for your carry, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably just going to leave it for Tanner, right?
Yeah. I feel like, as you said, too, like, if you do give Tanner something like a good TA game, he does know how to just take over a game like that. Just having the option available, and they will, so Gyro.
Wow. So I was thinking maybe Phantom Lancer, Gyrocopter instead being picked up. For me, when you don't know the enemy's lineup and you pick a Gyrocopter, it says a lot about what your game plan is, regardless of what the matchup is. You want to play fast.
You want to just fight. You have the Earth Spirit, Gyro, like all 4 of these heroes just want to push towers and fight all game.
I really like that Gyro pick. I think it matches up well against all of Secret's heroes. Like Gyrocopter, he loves just hitting stuff. It doesn't matter what he hits, even if he hits like the Will-O-Wisp, the Nature's Prophet Trunts. Like he just likes hitting everything on the map. It's really easy for him. There's not a ton of burst damage or control for him either. Once he gets BKB, he's going to feel very comfortable just getting all of his damage out. It's ideally what you want as a Gyrocopter. And it's not hard for him to get on top of heroes either. And this is a pretty good hero against, I think, Gyrocopter, just because he doesn't like to deal with the second life. But if you do get enough farm on Gyro, I think it's okay. Like once he gets like Satanic Ags BKB, he won't care so much about the Wraith King.
Yeah. Because Gyrocopter initially, one of its problems is sometimes he can run out of damage against Wraith King, right? But once you get the right-click build, which includes that Aghanim Scepter, then...
Yeah, once you have Satanic, I think it becomes, like, really good.
So, from your perspective, Ninja's Pajamas, they're going to hit hard early, but can still possibly win late, whereas Team Secret seems like they're going to that classic Nico Baby Hector peak where Wraith King's going to get second or third item, and they're just going to go and try and end the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Secret is just going to group up and try to team fight as often as possible. It's just kind of their bread and butter. But I do like NIP's draft so far. I think Peter's done a very good job of setting up like a winnable position, at least in these 4 picks. They have good catch, they have good damage, pretty good initiation. Their disable isn't really lacking either. I do think they're a little bit farm dependent on their heroes, but other than that, I think their lineup is pretty good.
5 seconds remaining.
Middle, I mean, it's pretty fun. Obviously, it could still be Nature's Prophet middle is like the only swerve I see here, and you could pick something else since you're not overall last pick, so kind of throws me off because we can't call NIP's pick, obviously, till we see Secrets, and for me, it's like, well, we've seen Matoma, we've even seen Nisha play NP, and they do ban the TA. Don't want to get, I would consider TA a kind of a cheese pick at this point. Don't want to give that to him.
So if you're going to fight constantly, and team fight at that, you want more catch? Do you need more damage?
For Secret?
Yeah.
I think you want more initiation on your side.
Okay.
You want like a lot more follow-up, or you want to just be like tanky enough to like run at them.
What about Kunkka?
Kunkka's okay for Secret.
When you just don't know the matchup, the safe Kunkka pick.
Yeah, it's not bad, especially
Kunkka.
DK's already banned out. It's another one you think of. I like Kunkka. Playing fast.
If you want to team fight, maybe you can take like Puck's okay. Kunkka's alright.
Damn, we're all stumped here. They go Pango. Okay, is that the Nisha Pango?
That's a good question.
That is,
like a very possible.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see who's picking what, because they did somehow mix it up again, throw everywhere.
I don't think Zach wants to play Pingo 3 times in a row.
But
the officials.
Does Puppy care what you want to play 3 times in a row?
Not even a little bit.
Well, we'll see. Now that you see all these picks, okay, what's the Tanner hero? Well, we don't have to think. Ooh, that hero.
Oh, that's a very good Timbersaw.
Indeed, made it all the way through.
Furion and Wraith King, no problems there. Pango usually doesn't have the damage to be able to deal with the Timbersaw.
And it is the Nisha Pango. I like NIP's. I still think Secret is a much better team, and they're using no stand-ins. Obviously, NIP has 2 stand-ins. They did look good even with them. But I'll go with NIP because I really just think their draft is all around balanced.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're going to have a hard time taking down this Wraith King twice in the early game. Maybe they don't pressure him so well, but I do think it is a really good Timbersaw game, and I think Peter's done a really good job of making sure he checks a lot of boxes in the draft.
Yeah, I would say Secret, though, that's the thing. Like, at a certain point, at 10 to 15 minutes in, when Pango's level 6, Wraith King, you know, maybe level 2 ulti, you have a lot of low cooldowns, and they are just going to be in your face. You have to be prepared for them to be in your face.
No. Going to be a lot of fighting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Team Secret versus Ninjas in Pajamas. Game 1 starts now.
everybody.
Outside of the international, Team Secret has been the most unstoppable force in the Dota 2 scene. They're taking on Ninjas in Pajamas in an online match. And so far, Secret have looked very convincing. They had a 2-0 clean series against Liquid, and IP on the other hand won their series against Alliance. Much tougher series. How do you expect this series to be going?
I expect this to be a clinic from Secret, and if NIP wants to take either of these two games, they're going to have to really step up their game. And as you see here, the people at home seem to agree with us, or at least the sentiment that Secret is heavily favored as a team. Now, in the draft, I do see what they're going for with this last pick, Timbersaw, but Blitz was even saying at the start that Tusk is the counter to these like strength laners, and I even think in the mid to late game, that tag team is pretty insane in terms of bursting down Timbersaw, even through his high amounts of armor, with the tag team being physical. I think they're going to buy an early Spirit Vessel either on the Prophet or the Pangolier, and they're just going to all in this Timbersaw in the mid game. And my concern is that he's kind of like this frontline body for his team, and if he feeds a couple times between the 10 to like 15 minute mark, that's going to be a real, like, they're going to constrict the map afterwards for Secret. He's going to get his Radiance on Wraith King. But on the other hand, if Centaur and Timbersaw both get off to a very good start, I don't think Wraith King's going to have the space he needs to farm. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out for Coddle Pango. If you've never seen that combo, the double swash, pretty insane in the mid game. Usually I think he's going to go Javelin for the defusal. It looks like he's queuing up the Javelin already. Just max out that damage. You don't need any mid game mana items because of it. Really enables the Pangolier.
Yeah, you mentioned the Spirit Vessel, and Yapsar not wasting any time. Already has it queued up. His Tusk is like, I know what I'm getting. It won't be maybe the fastest, like you were mentioning, if he's getting it instead of Zai's Prophet. And then the Pango, of course, wanting to go for those damage items with the Chakra Magic, going to be prioritized on him. So mid matchups maybe not going to be the easiest for Nisha. He's going to be tested here with the Timbersaw in a 1v1 matchup.
It's going to be a bit rough, but at the end of the day, he's an agility hero, so the whirling isn't nearly as painful for him as it is for others, but he can't really do anything to Tanner. Tanner's almost certainly going to absolutely free farm here, and that's kind of what Pango does, though, and that's why you 9th pick him mid, is most of the time he doesn't really win, but most of his matchups aren't that bad either.
Yep. Well, I'm pulling some waves here. Puppy's going to push him back a little bit. One of the things Coddle is definitely good at is doing in some extra harass for these wave cutters. And back in the top lane, you've got Zai with the Tusk supporting his Nature's Prophet. Pretty strong dual lane, it feels like, for Team Secret. If Gyro or Grimstroke ever steps out of position, and Ishad's blocked with tag team will spell a quick death.
Tanner's running Anisha mid. Being pretty aggressive underneath tower. But like I said, Nisha being an agility hero does not get hurt nearly as much by that whirling death, so any strength hero would definitely be dead at this point.
Oh, he's going for the kill. In Timber Chain, normally you would see a second point of reactive
that a lot.
Tanner thought he had a kill. Immediately skilled at the second hit level 3.
Even then, he's zoning Nisha away from all of those creeps and the next wave, most likely.
Yeah, Nisha's trying to cut around, but Tanner again.
Little mind game. Oh, the jukes.
The tower hit also finds the Timbersaw, so a bit more damage.
There's no more trees, and he even coin bladed another one of them. The meta of the Timbersaw mid lane.
And now he gets back to his side of the mid lane, looking to do whatever he can to stay as far away as possible.
It's honestly just some high-level stuff from both of them. I like this a lot. Tanner making a real heads-up call to go for that Timber Chain, and even though he didn't get the kill, he missed out on that close
Top lane, it's going to be a snowball attempt to save Zai, but with the rotation from Milan, I believe he would have TP'd up here to get this kill. It is going to be a first blood going NIP's way. So Earth Spirit says, I've done my jump bottom, I pulled away, pulled the lane back for now, I can go set up a kill elsewhere on the map. We'll see how Centaur does now that he's being left alone. Once those wave pools start coming in and the lane is not so close to his tower, this lane gets a whole lot more difficult. You can see March immediately throws out a stun, runs at him with the skeletons, not afraid to kind of feed those away, knowing that the Centaur being alone means you need to bully him out of this lane.
Yeah, they cost about, or they give 5 gold and 5 XP, so who gives a crap, as Yapsor does go down in the top lane, and Blizzy might be also receiving the same fate, but if not, he does have the Ring of Tarask, but I don't think that's enough to sustain. Either way, he is getting bullied away, so this rotation to top is getting kills, but it is definitely costing them. It is not free.
Do you like it though? Do you think it's worth it for NIP? Like, it's the right kind of move?
Gyro, I think, may struggle against the combination of the lane that he's dealing with, So giving him a bit of that early bolster might be exactly what they need, because his farm's also important. He's not necessarily your mid-game pace setter, but Gyro is a carry that's vulnerable to just getting off to a really rough start, and it's usually dictated by the time he's level 3 or 4. And he is going for the maxed flat cannon build as opposed to going for the rocket barrage. Not very reliable. When you can't exactly man up against the Tusk, you're probably going to take more damage from that tag team than you are dishing out. And also against the Treants, you're going to be separating all that damage on the split targets. So I actually like this adjustment from Dahak. Much lower cooldown, and going from level 1 to 2 gives you that extra 50% attacks there.
Gamble on the rune. Angolier is going to get that first, but it spawns top. And
look how many supports are focused on these runes.
Yeah, they're holding it. They're not picking it up.
What is it? Oh, it's a double damage. I can even see it.
Lion ends up picking it up. Nice dodge by Nisha. Doesn't get hit by the Timber Chain damage, and Tanner is constantly in Nisha's face, as you'd expect from a Timber on the mid lane. But Nisha's still getting his own. Has 18 last hits already. Doing Timber Chain forward. Doesn't hit much damage. Once again, Tanner just can't quite catch up to Nisha. Fully yep. I think he's got this kill here. Yeah, he's going to Timber Chain himself through with the X-Wall. He's more than had enough for that one.
I really like what NIP is doing. They're really bringing the heat, but you're seeing the kills. They are costing them something. We already mentioned that, but Wraith King, absolutely the king of the charts in terms of the CS. Up by 10 CS to anyone else in the game, and Blizzy is receiving the suffering pain of what his team is doing on the map. So that's why you see a 3-0 kill score, but yet still a net worth lead for the Radiant.
Banner runes coming into play. It's going to be 3 of them going the way of NIP. Very active on the map, as you'd like to see when you have an Earth Spirit on your team, but Milan's got to be a little bit careful. He's being chased around by Yapsor, who's going to make sure he gets well and truly away from Team Secret's top and mid lanes. And Center, even though he had a rough time, he was clever about it. He started cutting behind the waves, knowing that Coddle is not going to be able to kind of really pose a kill threat.
330 damage crit coming out from Matama Man, and Zendar's only got, I guess near the tower, he's got 8 armor, which isn't actually that bad. But yeah, the thing is that Matama Man, unless he goes for, oh my god, the damage, as we see bottom and mid, 2 different guys going on at once.
They want Nisha, they hit him with the roll in from the Earth Spirit, and Nisha should be going down. He does manage to juke the stroke of fate.
Dead bottom.
Blizzy goes down, and Nisha finds himself out of this one. Swashbuckles away, and he's going to survive a really nice sidestep. Showing his mechanics there, dodging PP's brush stroke.
This is a lot to learn from the way NIP is playing. You have to enable this Timber Saw to be aggressive, setting up that catapult to do as much damage to the tower as possible, and then on the other flip side, seeing how Secret handles it is really good as well. Actually really enjoying what both teams are doing so far this game, but getting that mana for Rolling Thunder, so he's most likely going to go down, which he does. And complete and utter bloodbath in the mid lane, but look at this tower bottom. Wraith King Coddle takes a 6-minute tower, and there's actually so much to learn when you watch Secret, because instead of dealing with this Timber Saw directly, they try to manage the damage, right? They're trying to not make sure they lose their tower mid, even though they're feeding away some heroes. But in the meantime, they're capitalizing on what else is going on in the other lanes, since NIP is dedicating so many resources. So some problems in Dota have to be addressed directly. Heroes like Timber Saw, better to address them indirectly at this stage in the game where you just cannot kill them.
And that's one of, to me, the most impressive thing about Secret is they win games in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
We're going to see the Heart getting rotated on the top lane. The Rolling Thunder coming into play, gets back to the safety of his tower, but now he dodges the roll with a salve. And it's going to be likely Milan going down instead. The Swashbuckle's going to hit. Throws out the slow, and Milan may still survive the bottle. Giving Nisha a bit more mana here. The Ice Shard's going to block off Milan. He does manage to roll his way out of there, though, so he gets back to safety, and Nisha wasting a lot of time rotating here. Really needs to find a kill. The X-Wall, though, going to deter any kind of initiation from Secret, who are going to find Dahak in the Sprout, and Dahak may have overcommitted here. He's got the Strength Terrence, and with the help from the Earth Spirit, he may be able to get himself out of this one. Another Stroke of Fate's going to slow them down, get Secret really low, and they're committing a lot to this, and not really getting a whole lot out of it.
But what they are getting is that Wraith King, he's hitting creep. Yes. Like a pulse, and this Gyro is busy fighting people. So that's what they are doing this for. And even if it seems, this is what the best teams in the world do. They do things where even if nothing happens, whatever's going on elsewhere is to their benefit. And Tanner doing the best he can to pressure mid, but notice the resource distribution coming out from Secret, right? You take the fight to the Gyro, who has no desire to be participating in this right now. You put the Coddle mid, you're going to lose your tower, but it's an it's something inevitable against mid Timbersaw in an unfavorable matchup. But he's doing his best to stall, making it take as long as possible for Tanner to take this tower. And Milan's going to rotate back, pops the illusion room.
To keep it alive. Poppy's got a second point in Illuminate just for this exact scenario defending mid lane. Nisha gonna Rolling Thunder with the Stampede to try and help Milan escape. He manages to juke really nicely. Make sure that he doesn't get hit by the Rolling Thunder.
Oh, the juke.
Guesses wrong with the chakram.
Yeah, expect him to go the other way. I would have too, honestly.
And I mean, I think what you're saying is really highlighted when you see the Gyro's net worth compared to the Wraith King. It's a 1,500 gold difference. Secret not known for playing for Protect 1 style, but that's kind of what this is. They're just enabling this Wraith King to have a completely free game.
Yeah, they just understand Dota really well, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think NIP's doing anything wrong. I think they're playing their lineup really well. They kind of have to help their Gyro early. Lindsay's kind of left to his own devices, and Secret's just punishing him in a way that's kind of required to do when they're ganking your top lane like this. And holy crap, with the Tusk tag team, he crits for 500 damage.
Yeah, that's painful. And he gets the last hit on the kill. Very close to what's going to be an incredibly fast Radiance, I imagine, on Amatu's Wraith King. And Secret more than happy with the state of this game.
He's going to be almost 6,000 net worth 10 minutes into the game. That is scary.
Could Dahak have fought better in this top lane with Rocket Barrage, or do you
I think he absolutely. I don't think he could have. I think
you're playing against the Treants, which often soak up the damage, I guess.
Yeah, the Treants plus Tusk tag team is just too overwhelming compared to the damage output that you will be dishing. And like I said, I even think that's a good adjustment to go for the max flat cannon. I don't know about 0 points in Rocket Barrage. With 2 points in Rocket, that's a bit strange to me. I think in the mid game you could easily participate with max Rocket Barrage, but he's kind of committed all out for this max flat cannon, and I'm not 100% confident either way. We'll definitely see how it plays out for him. It is great for farming as compared to it used to be. One less attack per charge, but you get it twice as often, going from a cooldown of 40 seconds to 20.
Yep. I mean, it's a farming tool, but it's not going to allow you to keep up with a Wraith King who's got skeletons and all the sustain
absolutely not.
Yeah. So.
Especially when he has just that much more net worth and higher levels from early on in the game. It doesn't even matter if your toolkit's technically better for farming when Wraith King's level 10, almost level 11, and you're level 7.5. Yeah.
And the NIP support's been so busy with all the action, there haven't been that many stacks for the Gyro for what he's made for himself. So we'll see Secret mix things up. Too deep to the top lane. I think realizing that bottom is a bit too dangerous for him, and he'd also farmed out most of the jungle. So he's going to go take the camps up top, maybe even look to invade that enemy jungle and set up a new home base there.
They're in a smoke on NIP. It looks like they're trying to enable their Timbersaw even further, bringing at least 2 cores, maybe 4 heroes bottom. Meanwhile, the Hawk TP's mid to defend. Map movements from both teams mirroring each other. Standard movements where both teams go to the opponent's dead lane, taking the tier 1 tower in the safe lane. And as Secret's already taken that one, it's only natural that NIP will also do the same rotation.
Well, NIP now realizing they've taken the tier 1 they're going to focus their efforts more around this middle lane with their smoke.
The Hawk has a defusal queued up.
Okay.
Is this Thompson incarnate?
The Wraith King want to pose that kill threat early on and perhaps play a bit faster pace. You mentioned he's going to need some more points in the Rocket Barrage, which he's now skilled up for the first time at level 8.
Fortified.
It does make life a little bit difficult for the Wraith.
Is about to take the plunge.
Yeah, it's just I think they also need the pipe on the Timbersaw, because this Wraith King Radiance, you're just not going to be able to kill it fast enough by the time that burn really adds up for heroes like Gyro. Poppy forced to Will-O-Wisp defensively bottom. Once again, NIP, this is really good from them, right? Play around your Timber, enable him to pressure these towers. But man, this Coddle is such a nuisance. They don't really care about using this Will-O-Wisp because they don't care about fighting until they get this Radiance, which is only somehow 500 gold away. I thought it was going to be a bit later, but we've been only talking about time and time again how good of a start Timberman has had, and Zai also takes top tier 2. This is how you play around Timber, man. It's so perfect to watch. This is exactly like, it seems like he's doing everything right on Tanner as we see a dive bottom on the Puppy.
Finally punish Puppy. Last time he had the Will-O-Wisp to help him get out. This time around, no defense, except for Matu's TP. Matu's come in with backup. Yasuo are going to block in Milan, although he does manage to roll out to the ice shards. They've lost the center on the Zai's TP in, and the Sprout Trap, they're going to get a second kill as well. Secret, ready to fight, happy to punish the dive on the poor keeper of the line.
Everything NIP is doing makes sense. Everything Secret's responding with is just clean, as the Hawk also dies in the river, with Zai going for a first item blade mail after the Vlads. I like this build a lot from Zai. I don't think you need any pick off, this Orchid kind of stuff. I think you just need the ability to group up and force down objectives once you get this Radiance timing, because that's going to be scary, being 13 minutes into the game. This is what I'm talking about, that tough tag team in the mid game. Is it enough? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Looks like Tanner, this is the kind of fight he wants to take. We've seen Secret mostly avoiding the Timbersaw. Perhaps something they need to reconsider as they do still lose their mid team on tower, but they make it a second kill for this moment and great soulbind onto 2 with the silence there. The swashbuckler going to be coming back up, and it looks like Nisha's actually going to turn his eyes. Oh my god, Zai just obliterates him with the Vlads and the sustain that he's got. He's just so damn tanky as the Timber train away from Tanner. He's just trying to save his life, but he's being chased down by the Pangolier, and Nisha should have this kill. Needs another swashbuckler. Puppy's going to find him, but I'm not sure he can do a whole lot about it. The TP out.
I think he could have seen that TP, but it was a tough call to make, and obviously a very long cooldown to expend if he happens to not be TP. Yeah. Seems like everything's just going the way of Secret, and the funny thing is, this is why it's so beautiful to watch teams of their caliber, and I know I've just been fanboying all game, is it doesn't seem like NIP has really done anything wrong.
Yes. We're talking about off stream, like where watching Secret crush these games in 20 minutes is actually entertaining.
Yes.
Unlike maybe the previous series where it was so...
It felt like it got handed to them. I am honestly nothing but qualms with how NIP's made their rotations this game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he tried to block him with the Iron Retrieve. That would have been funny. Who was that? That's a Zai move. Yeah, it's a Zai move for sure. I instantly checked his inventory. I'm like, that's something Zai would totally do. If that had worked, that would be on Reddit for sure.
Oh man, and they're all itemizing to enable this Wraith King now. They've got the Vlads, the Medallion coming out on the Nature's Prophet, likely see the Solar Crest being built. They're going to be ready to end this game in 20 minutes.
Maelstrom don't like it. Let's go for the full Maelstrom.
Puppy could be in some trouble. He's got backup though, and with the backup, he may be the one punishing Milan here.
Maxed out roll, so it's pretty cool. Oh, they force him. Oh, nice. Freaking blinding light from Puppy.
I think sometimes people forget how mechanically skilled Puppy can be as well.
Puppy and PPD are two of the most mechanically skilled captains that I've ever watched myself. They're very good at pressing buttons properly, as we see NIP trying to contest this outpost, even though it's only 16 minutes.
They have the homing missile, but Nisha should be all right. He's going to swashbuckle to the low ground, looking for the haste room, but
there's 2 heroes dead. He's not particularly scared of anything.
And hey, yeah, you're top high ground. Matu's here with Skelly Groves. The Timbersaw is going to show up and these are dead. Gets it, took a chance actually to Lewis can pull back in. He dies instantly. Has got buyback, but you really don't want to commit a buyback into what he's going to do, so they need to kill this Wraith King. I feel they've taken out one life, can they kill the second time? You mentioned they did disengage, they've lost bleeding, but I mean, they could have wiped out most of the Hawk's health as well with Pangolier swashing his way in. This is looking hopeless for NIP, who is running out of options.
Yeah, something told me in the draft where the Secret saw this last pick Timbersaw that they were just like laughing to themselves, saying like, this guy thinks he's got a free Timbersaw game, and we're just gonna dodge him and stall him for the first 15 minutes of the game and then kill him twice, or kill him once, excuse me, and the game's over. That's... It's something that's really hard to do, the way Secret's been playing, but I've watched teams like of their caliber play against Timbersaw enough times to know that it's just pretty straightforward if you watch it come into fruition. And it's just, they have the Aegis on Pango, going for the Axe, going for complete luxury items on him. Solar Crest almost done on the Prophet. This Tusk hero, it pretty much eliminates these strength core tank heroes. You just can't tank when every hero on the enemy team is hitting for an extra 100 damage. That's just so much at this stage in the game. Coddle only hits for 77, ignoring the Philosopher's Stone. Prophet only hits... Prophet actually hits for 200. What the hell? That's without his ultimate, actually.
Blade Mail is just so much bonus damage for these int heroes.
Yeah, it's a value item. It's only 2,000 gold. The new Crystal is apparently.
Yeah. But too, when you get value from the actual Blade Mail active, and again, Gyrocopter, that was like one of the original counter items.
Yeah, he doesn't have money for BKB at this stage.
He's going to just TP on in with the Blade Mail in enemy lines. They've already killed off Blizzy's Centaur, and Secret ready for another go at this tier 3 tower, perhaps. Tanner's there on the front lines. He needs to be careful. He does not have a buyback to play around, but does have, it looks like, the safety of his base here. Is Secret going to swing their way to this TP lane? It just feels like anything NIP do is just not enough, and it's all been futile right now.
If I'm someone like Tanner that's new to the pro scene, this just has to be like such a humbling experience to be like, I made all the aggressive moves on Timber. I practiced this, and I played aggressively in the lane. I was two levels ahead of the guy in the mid lane, and now we just lost. Like, that has to be humbling in some way. It's definitely humbling to watch it. Because Dota,
or you take the pub approach up and my teammates. You guys fed top. I crushed my lane. This game's not on me, guys.
Yeah, that works too. I'm always down for that approach. I myself employ that one a lot. I guess that's why I don't have any teammates anymore.
That's, I mean, who needs teammates? That's what solo queue is for.
Exactly.
Of course, Tanner, not that kind of player from what I've seen of him.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy.
Nice game for him.
He's just trying to get a plate, man. Yeah. That looks a lot like my pubs when I'm in the offlane. What Blizzy's been experiencing thus far.
Dude, with this Blink Dagger going for this all-in aggression, knowing that they can just keep on running, finding these kills. The Hawk has no plays available to him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see an early GG at this point. It just feels like there's nothing NIP can do. 17k gold, we're 19 minutes in, and Secret's making this look easy.
Surprisingly, the only really strong team in this tournament that makes us like really convinced that they belong as the strongest team in the tournament. Secret, OG dropping a game to Bait yesterday. All of these series, they've been close, and even you said in the draft where first round banning Blizzy's main hero Axe, they ain't screwing around. Secret is not here for entertainment. They are here to put on a clinic and pummel these guys into the ground. As we see, Milan does get outpost first team, but oh my god, yeah, sure, such a good prediction from him. Actually just waiting for Milan to roll out. He says, here's my open arms to punch you with, sir. Yeah. As he rolls straight in. That was actually, it's not, oh man, it's like he's always gonna get away. There's just a Tusk waiting for him on his escape path. It's actually just,
I think Tusk was also going to the Bounty Rune. I mean, obviously there was a combination of factors. Hey, Bounty Rune, and there's a fleeing hero.
I always like to say hey, he was just going for something else, and then it just happens too often with these guys that I always assume that whatever happened was intentional. Because coincidences with these level of players are just, there would be too many of them. I would call myself too skeptical of their skills, but. AC being worked on by Matumba Man. The end seems quite nigh for NIP.
I mean, you talked about Secret, you know, the best team in the tournament. I think it's also fair to say the best team in the world right now. They did lose the last grand finals they played, but even taking that into account, I don't think many people will disagree they should be considered the best team in the world.
Did they lose?
The we played, they lost 3-2 to Enigma.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That was the last big LAN they played. They won the last major. They managed to take down the Tusk. A small consolation prize. You can see that GG bet odds there. Just managing to sink their way in before perhaps a potential GG call.
Was that a free dollar on my $1,000 bet?
I saw 112 there, you know. Or like 1.0 something. I didn't actually see it. Yeah, I think. Okay. It's, if there's any bets on, it's time to place them on Team Secret. GG bet.
I don't know, maybe they throw.
Dire's middle tower is drowned.
I've been saying cap before since we have capitalists here. Speaking emotes in 2020, that's just what be it. Just cringe things. As we have a last-ditch incentive appears. They haven't even lost the lane of Rax yet, but I don't know. Timbersaw dieback technically. Raking,
so good.
Yeah, double the worth of anybody on NIP.
As a team, they're all on the same page, and then individually, like looking at like Nietzsche, for example, mechanically he's been so amazing in this game. Like the way he lanes against the Timbersaw in an unfavorable matchup, he's dodging spells all over. He's really pushing his hero to the limit. Same for like what we saw from Zai. How do you beat this team? What's the secret to taking down Team Secret?
I'm sure only they know at this stage in the game, or stage in...
Maybe OG knows. That could be a...
I can't wait for that series at some point, yeah.
I guess we don't... They're in different groups, so... not something we will see till the playoffs, I imagine.
Matama Man fearless. Just 3 shots basically to opt there with the Solar Crest.
And I mean, they're playing it all out, which is what made me suggest respect. Yeah, I have to respect that for sure. They're giving it that last ride. They're going to go charging in, trying to get to the back lines of Team Secret, but just unable to do so. The Rolling Thunder's out now as well, probably from the Huts pull back. So this should be the end of Gyro. He just never could finish this beat.
I think we're going to see more and more Tusk. The games yesterday, even with RG in the game they lost, like Tusk was really far behind in the corner, still looked very potent. And here, Gapsword just...
Did he drop boots? I was saying boots were dropped.
Yeah, I guess somebody dropped items. It just feels like every hero on NIP was paper, even though it's like a Centaur and a Timbersaw, and they all just melt. And a lot of it was just the tag team. I think we've said enough. At least I have. That was... that...
5 seconds
The
remaining.
Dire get a ban.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Dire's ban now.
Radiant's turn to ban.
The Dire get a ban. Ten seconds.
5 seconds remaining. Here's the Radiant ban. Ten seconds left by my count. 5 seconds remaining.
How do you beat Team Secret? That's what we've been thinking about during the break, and I hope you've been thinking about it too. Maybe you should send us some of your suggestions. Hit us up at ESL Dota 2, or drop the hashtag ESL1. Maybe at some of us. Give us your ideas on how to beat Secret, because I think you basically need the combined brain power of everybody to take on this #1 team.
Dude, we might actually need like Kuro, Puppy, No Tail, and Seb to like fuse in now, because Puppy's in his prime. Those guys need a super brain in.
Needs to fuse with the other two captains to beat himself.
No, I didn't say Puppy, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Take on
You said Kuro, Puppy, and No Tail need to fuse
Well,
together.
yeah, 2018 Puppy has to come from the future's past, like Wolverine did.
Like goatee Puppy comes out.
Oh my god. Long hair Puppy. Long hair Puppy from Dota 1 comes back.
On BFB.
It's the only chance. BFB. Jeez.
Comes in playing his intro music is Metallica, just shaking his head.
But in all honesty, it's tough. I would be interested to see how other people do things, so you should do that. But, you know, I guess we'll see. NIP gets another shot at it. The series is not over. As much as it sounds like we're just saying Secret's already won this entire tournament, they do still have to play the games, and there's a chance, you know, there was just a new patch last night. It wasn't the biggest, but, you know, the meta could change and stuff.
I'll say it. They're not going to win this tournament. They'll finish very well, but they'll get
Radiant's turn to pick.
Void incarnate.
Taken down by OG.
No, I think they'll lose to Enigma.
Damn.
Again.
Yeah, it's like
Enigma is the kryptonite.
Yeah,
They are just randomly. They just are.
If Secret is Superman.
You know what?
They are Bizarro, or
you know what Mo
that guy?
said before TI?
What's that?
He said it was right during the players' dinner. This is when Enigma was not looking so hot, or Liquid, I guess, at the time, and Secret was looking like on fire.
Yeah.
And he said, and I promise you, he said this. He dead ass looking in the eye, and he said, "Blitz, if we play Secret before the grand finals, we'll win for sure." He said, but if we play them in the grand finals, we'll lose like 3-1. He's like, we're getting bopped.
And he put that shit on wax.
And he did it.
No cap.
They did it.
Yeah.
He was very convinced, so that's how I knew. Like,
and they did lose the finals 3-1, so he was right on 2 different accounts.
I don't think he expected to lose to OG. That was if they played Secret.
Yeah. No, but hey, we already got a draft, which is nice. Void Spirit first pick. And I notice, yeah, Secret does believe Coddle's that broken because they don't have first pick this game, and they just straight up ban it out, even with the Ember already out of the pool. So you can tell they just think Coddle's overall broken.
Yeah, I think Coddle is definitely an insane hero.
What about some of the other heroes they banned, though?
Oh,
pretty
Nature's
interesting.
Prophet. And NIP themselves have banned this Timber, but Secret don't seem to care about it at all.
No.
But they take the Nature's Prophet. Good hero against Void Spirit too, just because you have so many different things. There's just stuff that he does not want to Aether Remnant.
True.
I think the Axe ban is pretty interesting.
Blizzy,
Since we don't
right?
see that much. But yeah,
thing.
specifically Blizzy, as well as
5 seconds
one of the better
remaining.
Phoenix combos, which is still out there.
Imagine giving Blizzy
Yeah, I was
Axe.
about to say, isn't that just, you literally just pick that again? Because you can just send it to different lanes, but it's strong in every single lane.
So they moved up the priority of the Nature's Prophet by 1, obviously because Keeper of the Light was not banned, or was banned.
And now you have that nice openness where you can run Nature's Prophet 5.
Anywhere you want, yeah.
Again, I think the versatility of... Like when you're second pick, I think you want to be versatile. You want to keep your options as open as possible, and you want to confuse the enemy team, because what the enemy team wants to do on first pick is they want to try to counter your lanes. But if they don't know what your lanes are until like the 4th pick, it becomes really difficult to do that. So that's why you take these like Pangos, Nature's Prophets. You just keep things as open as possible.
And then even though NIP might be thinking about picking like lane counters, all of a sudden the lane counter you picked isn't in that lane.
Yeah, I think that's something that Secret does really well from a drafting perspective. I think they always lead the dance.
Jakiro, okay.
I like that against Furion. Always.
Yeah, we saw it in SA, I want to say, once or twice. I know Guster like picking, and his reasoning, obviously I don't know if it's Peter's reasoning, was, hey, it's a long-range disable, you push towers, and you are a good team fighter with no items.
And Tusk as well. Easy to throw down Ice Path to be able to counter Snowball. So now they have 2 different abilities to do that. Aether Remnant as well works that way.
The second hit on Jakiro does not look good.
The fire one?
Yeah.
He just kind of derp, little dirt boy. Like the ice one's like, we shall freeze them. Yeah, fire! And it just slacks, and they just have his voice line. Like, it would actually fit.
No, Grant, I think they should use your voice.
Fire!
2 cheeseburgers.
Oh, I remember, but I don't, Jakiro just, and I do like it, as you said, because Aether Remnant plus this, like, snowball save, they weren't really using it for saves, though. They were just running at you, is my only problem here. So Jakiro, he will be good if he's behind the hero Tusk and stuff is going on, because you can always just toss that Ice Path down if you see him, and it is a great setup, honestly.
It's one of the best laners in the game, and Ninja the Pajamas did choose first pick when they rolled the dice, so...
Guess they wanted to have Void Spear. Was Void Spear banned last game? Pardon me, I should know, but I don't believe it was.
I think it was.
Okay, and they first pick it up. We did see Limp even win in the game that Alliance lost, Limp on that Void. So I think Void Spirit still is a very good hero. I'm actually surprised it kind of went down on the priority list, because I think he's up there with Ember. Not quite as strong as Ember, but right up there.
I do like, by the way, when you take NP and you have a hero like Tusk, because NP has like one really serious issue, which is he doesn't team fight very well, and Tusk has so many different tools to team fight. Like NP, oftentimes like you can just run him like as an aura bot to try to help out. You get like blade mail, flat, stuff like that. But I do really like when you have multiple disables paired with a hero that does not have any disables. Like you shore up his weaknesses.
Yeah. And that's why we liked NIP's draft last game as well, because they did kind of the same thing in that regard.
I still liked, even though it was
I think we both agree with that. We still liked NIP's draft overall.
Yeah, I think they could have played it a little bit better. Like, I think they focused on trying to help the Timber sometimes when he didn't really need like anybody else there with him.
Yeah, he already, like, after the first time, right, you're already up a level or two. Like, just let him do the bullying and help your other lanes. Because we saw Peter just, like, casually wandering through middle lane, throwing out ink swells. Sometimes you do just gotta not overthink it too much. Yapsor Rubik.
Yeah, Yapsor Rubik can instant disable on Void Spirit, and Ice Path is an amazing ability to steal.
Cast Ice Path, yeah. Now, like Rubik is the one here too. You see it, like it makes you think again, because you're like, well, now we can't pick this, this, and this, but they go with the Naga.
That's a Dahak Naga.
It is, I believe so. And we talked about it. Naga is very good versus Nature's Prophet. That was in another series we saw earlier when Charlie owned. He went in that lane and he dominated. They lost that game, of course, but Charlie absolutely shredded that up.
I wonder what Matu or Nisha, I guess, they're pretty flexible in this, will ask for to counter the Naga Siren.
5 seconds remaining.
They decided to go for Pango again, honestly. It's pretty good. Naga obviously doesn't really do anything to stop him. You can just keep rolling better, bouncing around.
So, out of curiosity, because I feel like you don't see this very often, do you, when choosing your carry, do you wait until you see the enemy carry or your lane matchup? Which is more important for you?
Sorry?
When choosing your carry, like in this position, you already know the enemy carry. Why can't you choose your carry?
For Secret?
Yeah.
I think because Secret has overall last pick, and you can still counterpick like the game with it. I think it's better to like counterpick with the carry as your last pick rather than counterpick with the mid hero. Because most of the time, like the mid lane matchup, like nowadays, it feels like for the most part all the lanes are relatively be salvageable.
Yeah.
But for Secret right now, like they don't know exactly what the offlane is going to be, right? Like they can kind of guess. It might be Void Spirit, it might be Void mid, it's most likely Naga carry, but it can be mid as well. And so they don't really have that much information yet, right? He doesn't know, Matu doesn't know what his lane matchup is going to be. So I think he wants to wait to see what it is. So like even though you see Naga as a 1-to-1, especially where Dota is like so laning phase oriented nowadays, you don't want to just straight up lose against some offlaner that counterpicks you.
Isn't that worse though in the mid matchup? What if it's Void Spirit offlane and...
In the mid matchup, I think it's okay because you have ways to come back. You have this camp that's really close by on the right side, for example. If you're Dire, if you're on the Radiant, it's on the same side, that you can just like pull and farm for yourself, and you can still soak XP. That's the thing, is you can always soak XP because the lane is so short. It's harder to die one-on-one as long as you're like pretty careful. Sure. And you can get like 1 or 2 CS by nuking stuff out, which is essentially what like Pango does, right? Yeah. Like Pango had the worst laning phase ever, and he can still have impact because he's getting experience.
Ooh.
So now you see the offlaner, because they have to show the offlaner at this point, right?
Right.
It doesn't really actually matter what order you pick it in because you have to consecutive pick. But I think the reason they take Darkseer is so they can always fight, and they don't really have heavy burst damage on the side of Secret. And Darkseer loves games where he can just like build Greaves or Pipe and then just sit there and get all his spells off.
And I think NIP, they realized, like, after last game, the laning phase stuff, like, okay, we're not winning the laning phase. Even if it feels like we are, let's go for a different strategy, right? You have the Wombo combo now. You have Jakiro, Darkseer, Naga, Siren, right? That was our one problem with the earlier Naga draft. They had nothing together with it. Now you have a very, very good combo. Like, if you get a good Naga sleep on 3-4 people, you just win a team fight.
Yeah. I would like to see, I'd like to see something that can fight with this Void Spirit right now. It could very well be a Void 4.
Yeah.
That's what Secret are assuming, that it is a Void Spirit 4. And if that's the case, you need something that can like tempo run around with the rest of your lineup and just like fight while the Naga farms. You don't really need much more Wombo combo because you have Jakiro plus
You've got the 2 big ones, yeah.
So there's some classic Darkseer combos still left. Spirit Breaker versus Spirit. Any others?
5 seconds remaining.
For the 4 roll, no, those are probably the best ones. I know if like Lelis was playing NIP's offlane, like he would be playing the Void Spirit. Like he is a Void Spirit spammer at this point, but because you don't have him.
I think Storm's pretty good for NIP if they want like a mid hero that tempo sets.
Do you like Void Spirit 4 like with Darkseer? Is that enough movement?
Oh no, you could take like Spirit Breaker if you want to counter the NP.
Hey, and they do blitz.
Yeah.
I always like Spirit Breaker against Nature's Prophet, and I think it works nicely against Pango.
Oh. I like it. Now you're kind of in this spot where, hey, we can do good in the laning phase, and if we get some good early combos, we will maybe steamroll over them. Because I don't think, I mean, Secret, honestly, their draft doesn't even look as good this game. Like, even Nature's Prophet, Tuz, Rubik, Pango, you're not really team fighting at all besides that Pango. I think you either all in on some right click or you need a team fighter here.
You can PL.
1 second.
You can,
Alchemist, all right, that pulls it all together here.
Yeah, Naga. I feel like we've seen this matchup many a time.
Yeah.
I really like Alk against slower pace cores that can't fight him early on, and where you're always 1 item ahead. Like she gets Diffusal, she goes Manta first, like you have Radiance, plus like half of a BKB. She gets Diffusal, you have BKB, plus like you've taken Roche. You're always just upping the tempo
1
over
or
her.
2 steps ahead. It always feels like. And I will say, like we talked about the Rubik, you don't always want to like, oh, we don't want to give him any skills. I thought NIP has a really good draft after they saw the Rubik, right? Like you don't really care that much about Spirit Breaker or Darkseer stuff being stolen, besides maybe Surge. Surge is pretty damn good, but once again, I like NIP's draft, but actually, I mean, I think Secret's a better team, and I think the Alchemist like actually brought this whole thing together. You know exactly how they're going to play. The question is, can you stop them? And so far, even with better drafts, no one has been able to, so it's easy Secret for me.
All right, well, fair enough. Team Secret versus Ninja's Pajamas. It was a hard game 1 for Nip. Let's see if they can make the comeback in game 2 and push it to a game 3. Gods and BSJ, take it away.
bulletproof in game 1 and game 2. NIP are coming back, guns blazing, all in on the team fight. Naga, Jakiro, Darkseer. Is this the right idea, you know? It seems like they've just said, okay, plan A didn't work, let's go plan B.
Yeah, they went for the heavy team fight approach, and I don't mind that. I think that the best way to beat a team that's most likely better than you is to say, we can fight you at all times, and if we manage to get our combo off, we'll probably win the fight. The goal is to get there before the Alchemist is too far ahead. As you see, looks like the viewers are doubtful that they're going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, doubtful, I think, game 1 as well. You'd expect as the series goes. Obviously, Team Secret were heavy favorites coming in, and remains the case. Not impossible, but definitely unlikely to see an NIP victory. Has the draft swayed you at all? I mean, you're talking about a bit about what their draft does. Do you think that's given you any more hope in NIP?
It's skeptical because every time I see Darkseer, I just think the opponent carry is going to get off to a really good start. And they've actually elected to put Alchemist, the carry I thought they were going to prioritize getting free farm, in the mid lane, which I can only imagine against Void Spirit he'd be pretty good. And let's see, Void Spirit's base armor is only 2, so the Acid Spray will put him in the -2 range.
Yep.
And on the other hand, Pango, or no, they're putting, what are their lanes? Zai,
like
safe lane, Tusk.
Yeah, in the
okay. Nisha is going off lane as Pango with Coin Blade, Orb of Venom, and no regen.
Zai going for this bounty rune. He's not going to get it. Gets stunned by the charge and may pay the price if he's not careful. No Orb of Venom, it looks like. Yeah, so he's okay.
Tanner's not blocking it all mid, so that means look at the, was that intentional? That they... He had Naga illusions in the mid lane that made it so Alchemist's creeps didn't go forward. I think that actually helped Matama Man. That was a bit strange. They lingered for like 3 or 4 seconds and his creeps just stopped moving.
And misses the first pull, meaning Matu gets both last hits to start things off, and we're going to test how well a Void Spirit can contest an
He's actually just dead, by the way. He walked into a tag team and didn't expect that to happen level 1, but we've talked about how overwhelming damage that can be. Nice ion shell,
yeah.
And the trees are going to go down. Okay.
That was almost an outplay from Secret. If he managed to get past the trees and then the body blocking the line in, it could have been
level 2 now all of a sudden. Pretty early on in the laning stage. This is going to be one of those off-laners have less farm than the 4 position situations. More often you'd expect that from Secret, but in this case, let's see, Nisha queuing up an immediate Javelin. They did pick the Pango in response to Naga, one of the best heroes in the off-lane to utility role. Obviously kind of a mid laner here to counter the Naga Siren. All of what Pango does, all of his AoE swashbuckles, the maelstroms, everything's really annoying for the Naga Siren. His ultimate being BKB basically for him makes it so that the Naga Sleep doesn't counter it. Just overall a nice counter. And Matama Man, a pretty solid start. It looks like they're trading mid, but anytime an Alchemist is trading with somebody evenly in the early game, I'm pretty happy to be the Alchemist.
Going for some early braces, so there's no real kill threat on him. Back at top lane, Secret trying to get the kill on PPD. They had the Orb of Venom slow, but Nisha got pushed back and wasn't able to maintain as PPD goes up with a salve and is going to turn and look to fight Yapster. Nice position from Peter in the trees, allowing him to get the full salve regen. And now Yapster could be in some trouble. He may have overstayed his welcome here. He throws out the Fate Bolt to mitigate some of this right-click damage, and that'll be enough to help him get out of there with the boots.
Yeah, most of the time you're expecting the 4-position Tusk and the 3-position Nature's Prophet, but that's the benefit of having your early round picks be flex. Naga, very good in lane versus both those heroes, but guess what? She's not laning against either of those heroes. So kind of cool what Secret did in terms of a pivot with their heroes, but Blizzy is cutting the creeps bottom, getting a lot for himself out of that. Nature's Prophet is threatening to TPN as he finally does complete it with the triple Fairy Fire.
I saw those items earlier and was like, this is cute.
That's a lot of Fairy Fires. Not as cute as what Insania did with the drafts earlier, though. That was...
He's doing his best impression.
Yeah, he is.
Trying to be a bit of a hipster himself.
Gotta respect it. No, I think it's avant-garde is what we all came to the conclusion
with
of.
Secret, yes.
Yes, with Secret it is avant-garde. Zai does not like
Insania is not won enough games to get to decide what is called yet.
Exactly. Milan being a bit... They have to take these creeps is the problem when you're cutting like this, and you're just taking a little bit of extra damage. And as a safe laner, play from the... Or an off laner, play from the safe lane. Tusk is quite good at coming over real quick and helping his 5 position zone them out.
If that's a carry,
tag team,
you're like, oh, I'm hitting my creeps at the tower, but because it's a Tusk, you're like, well, I'm happy to miss some CS to go punish this.
Absolutely, yeah. And most carries can't come over and just offer that much help, as we see Jakiro also going down top. And so far, already a 1K net worth wait for Secret at 3 minutes in. Are we going to see a repeat of them slowly but surely just squeezing that advantage away from NIP? So far,
definitely one of those heroes that leans itself to having a gold lead that can very quickly maybe misrepresent the state of the game, but at the same time, we're in the early game. So
when we were watching SCA games as well as the NA games, surprisingly, Alps weren't having these ideal starts, and they were still winning. So I'm curious how it plays out in what may seem like a more competitive region, simply because in NA everyone's so good that you know. I don't know where I'm going with this. We're trying to save our region, but there's never anything good to say, as we see Dahak getting dove in the top lane, forced to salve up, which he does have in his backpack. And Nisha will also salve. Javelin almost on the way, but he's out of mana.
Trying to dodge the pull, but unable to get by it. And they get the kill. TP from Puppey, trying to get a revenge one on Tanner. He gets back to the high ground, though. And now Milan should be okay here.
Okay, forcing out response from 2 supports. Yapster didn't even have any mana. So that's actually NIP making the proactive move this game.
And Nisha wants it. Really close. He manages to pick it up. Will he go down, though, for it? Doesn't have the mana for a swashbuckle, and he's going to pay the price. Gets the bounty rune, at least.
Puppey did something really cool where he dragged the enemy creep wave with an ion shell on it towards the bounty rune, such that the Tusk could contest without missing the creep wave near his own tower. Ooh. I've never seen that before, so I wanted to point out that little cool trick he did there. As we see another charge on the mid lane, trying to pick off the top lane. Yeah, level 6 is going to make that difficult.
See if they've got the damage for it. It looks like Matu's just going to turn and fight with the minus armor. If Puppey was able to get a right click or two, and they would have found this kill, they're still chasing for them. They still actually find it. Puppey gets one more from the low ground, which is just enough damage from Matu to get the last hit.
Most alchemists would be content just not dying there. Instead, they elect to turn the kill onto NIP, and it seems like the window for pressuring out may have already closed.
Yes, double bracer, and he can fall back to the jungle. He's when ultimate's up. Sprout gonna block him in. Peter will get back to the high ground with the Sprout wearing off, and looks like he should survive through this. Elsewhere, it's Zai getting a solo kill down bottom on the Darkseer. Around the outpost, it looks like.
He's only level 4 with 5 armor, and Tusk has level 6 with 3 points in tag team and Walrus Punch. It's overwhelming amounts of damage.
Puppey gets jumped up by the Astral Step. That'll be enough to bring him down. There is a courier kill as well, so Puppey, not just his life, but his poor couriers. It's the 5 position, and as far as the big picture goes, Secret going to be very happy with the kills they're getting on their cores.
Triple stack for Matama Man.
Oh man.
I like how he places the Acid Spray to the left, because just in case the opponent has a ward that may see the river, it would catch the edge of that Acid Spray and alert the opponent team that he is farming this camp. So that's kind of a little cool thing there. As we see bottom playing around the top. Very powerful this stage in the game, offering so much damage. Already used Punch though, and not quite in position to get the lift. Tanner immediately reacts with his level 6, looking to punish this tad bit of overextension from Secret. Catches the Ether Remnant, and he will go down. Just can't get kill.
Doesn't feel worth it, but he wants to send it. He's trying to get Zai, but he's attacking there. He's going to force the warrior to get the hell out of there. Now Zai in the tree. Can he find a way out of this one? He's going to try to eat his way through. He's hiding there, but Milan will find him. And
good rotation.
Yeah, they're playing. I mean, we mentioned we saw NFP's draft. This feels a bit like OG style. You know, they've got the Spirit Breaker with the Darkseer. They're going to run at them for kills, and NIP's doing just that.
I like how Tanner's utilized. It's kind of reminding me of Nisha last game, where he lost mid lane and he's just running around killing people. But I don't know if it's the same story as this game. We've got an Alchemist in the meanwhile, as opposed to a Timbersaw that you're leaving alone in the mid lane.
I think the good news for NIP is they also have their own hard carry in the Naga free farming, but perhaps not a hard carry that is going to be able to outpace or outgreed an Alchemist.
Yeah, it's a tough... Oh my god, he dies so fast.
That's a big streak. Matu gets it 500 gold for the Alchemist. That's painful.
His Radiance was already coming at like 12 minutes. It might be like an 11-minute Radiance now. Even less potentially, as he is absolutely free farming the middle part of the map. Is he going to look to pressure this tower? Maybe. It'll slow down his Radiance a tad, but he will be forced to react to this if they want to defend their mid tower as they dive again bottom. Puppey does sprout out Blizzy. Dahak actually solo kills Nisha in the top lane meanwhile, but Milan, bit of an overextension this time around.
They want 2 here. Zyther's up with them.
That's 682 damage with that tag team. That's the fact that that ability crits is pretty nutty. Whew. So effectively a 300 damage bonus. Or how much does punch? 350. So 350 damage from the tag team plus punch combo.
Brutal stuff. Zai showing his prowess on the core Tusk.
Yeah, it looks really fun and honestly very impactful from the core role. This Tusk we've seen several times this tournament throughout different teams. Matamaman getting ran out again.
They get the instant to follow this one up, and yeah, with that, he may just go down here if he's not careful. The Penguin shows up with the Rolling Thunder, trying to keep them at bay. Tanner needs one more right click. It's going to be close. He gets him with the Rolling Thunder, and he hits the Spirit Breaker. They lose vision, so they can't get him with the charge. And Tanner in all sorts of trouble. He goes fishing with a Redden onto the high ground, hoping to find the Alk, who's not there, and he'll pay for this with his life. And well, they may be trying to play it like OG, but they're not OG, and they're being punished for some over-aggression here.
They seem to be ready for it. For a team like NIP in the future, they are... I think they're playing correctly. They're just not quite as good at it as these other teams. And that's perfectly fine. That's how you get better. That's how you learn. And maybe a bit of an overextension there, as Dahak does get active this early on in the game as a Naga Siren, but forced to sleep, as you said, gets surged away.
Oh, they're going to fight this one, perhaps.
Gets the Ether and
no problem here, and Nisha will barely get the Swashbuckle away, but he still gets caught out. Puppey going to TP his way out of there, and Zai on the run, has some one charges, has a bracer in his backpack, which he slots in, hoping to get some extra stats here. Back in as well, and the snowball to the high ground. Zai with a TP out afterwards. Really nice juke from him.
Yeah, look at the Ice Powder was going to catch him, but he did charge in from Milan all the way to 5, but paying the price once again as Matamaman says, thank you guys for all of this space with my 10-minute and 45-second Radiance coming out here.
Yeah, that's a quick one, and you can see the CS pretty even, but this is out of Dota, so I imagine he's pretty far ahead when it comes to actual net worth as far as the carries go.
Tanner?
Yeah.
That's a 700 damage physical attack.
Oh, they get the block with the follow-up. The snowball and the ice shot blocks in for Blizzy as well. Matu showing up at the party, even gets the last hits. Matu's Alk is on a killing spree and almost has doubled the net worth of Naga Siren. That is not a pretty sight for the NIP Dota fans.
This Tusk broken. This hero seems so insane.
Tag team, what a spell.
Yeah.
It's just the tag team that makes this hero insane,
It's 100%
right?
the tag team, yeah. Like, he was just standing on the low ground in range of the aura, so that Nisha was just hitting him with have a Vlad's plus the disarm from Tango, plus the tag team from Zai. This is going to be an early and fast roast, not including the acid spray. Yeah, the minus armor is, we got 4 from Pangolier, we got 7 from Alchemist, and obviously the tag team buffing up everyone's damage whenever it's on cooldown.
Yep. And it's a pretty low cooldown as well, so Tanner in the neighborhood, he's looking for a rune. I don't even know if they realize this is going on. You don't normally expect an Alk draft to do a 12-minute Roshan.
Yeah.
That's not your everyday.
And the fact is, Pangolier is one of the best Roshers in the game because you can just perma disarm Rosh, or at least nearly perma disarm. And since he went for this first item Vlad, which I really like a lot, basically embracing the off lane of Pango from the middle player. Secret.
Showing some serious flexibility. Nisha not just having to play that kind of flashy playmaker. And here we go. Matu showing up to a fight with the Radiance. They've already taken out the Nether Strike not being cast at all. And now the Rolling Thunder just wiping its way through the NIP lines. Yeah, this is going to be a dead Void Spirit, and Blizzy does manage to escape his way out of there, but a 9k gold lead, and It feels like a similar story to last game where Secret just start pulling ahead. But here we go. NIP, they're not done. They're charging it. They know their way back into this game. At the snap ball, though, going to be there to dodge the charge stun. He's going for the Nether Strike. They're going to lock Zai in place for the time being. But to right the damage of the tag team, just too much. Nagasaran shows up, wants the Tusk kill. There's a Walrus punch. He gets it all, but he does end up going down. So a nice kill. Song to Zai. He may need to use it here. He's getting very low with an Ace's Prophet TPing in. They get the vacuum, though. They cancel the first sleep cast. Luckily, Dahak looks like he's still going to manage to TP on out. The Ice Path covering his escape. That was a very long TP in the end. And full retreat now for Secret. They're going to maybe lose more here with Tanner coming back into the fight. But
Alex just hitting creeps.
It always feels like you see like a glimmer of hope and then you remember, oh wait, this Hero Alchemist is in the game.
Yeah, he got a Radiance 2 minutes ago and he's already got 2,800 gold on top of it.
About to be officially double the Nagas. No, maybe not quite. Still needs about 700 away.
Seconds. Yeah, 15 seconds or so it'll be doubled up.
Naga's trying to not let that happen.
Gets the troll plus golem camps the dream. Finds a neutral item somehow. I don't know how many of those are. I don't know how any of those are left.
Yeah, he's been hitting a lot of new.
That's his first one. He doesn't have any. Oh, I guess he has a jelly. Okay, that makes sense.
Sometimes if you're not killing ancients, those neutral items can take a while to appear.
Tanner looking for more, forcing the issue as Alchemist is still looking to farm a bit.
Immediate rolling thunder from Nisha. He's going to ignore the Void Spirit and go for the squishier supports. It's for PPD. He's going to get picked off right down.
Top tower is about to
making it look easy once again from Secret, and
I'm just going to run in, but he's unkillable. And plus he has an Aegis, of course.
Yeah, he has a full Reaver that's going to be delivered soon enough, as it seems already hard to kill him before that Reaver, and he's going to have 2,000 health.
Down here and spawning in Secret, they've laid a trap here. They've come to contest these down bottom. Like to roll in, and meanwhile on the high ground, it's going to be Darkseid forced to surge his way out of there. Milan does manage to sneak a bounty run, but may pay for this with his life as the Pingalier buckles his way through him. Shards? Nope, doesn't catch him. Tanner does have 2 ulti charges left, so he's still got lots of mobility to play around. It looks like he wants to try and use that to get aggressive on Team Secret, who are separated from their Alchemist. So if you can take a fight away from the Alchemist, that could be a way to play this. They bring it to Huck on the Nagasaran. They've gone chasing for Nisha. They don't have the roll of thunder. They're back to the back into snare. And it looks like they could be finding this kill here. They do manage to bring down Nisha. They definitely want more though. That's here. You're going to run away from Matu. Rocks up to the pod. He's got this concoction. He's doing some good melee damage with the Radiance here, but it seems Secret's already up to her. This Alpha's going to be careful. He's got the Aegis, but he's going to immediately lose it. Saves and saves the ulti now for his respawn. Immediately pops it with the heart of harass. He might be 1v5ing or 2v5ing. He's got some help. Puppy's like, I got you, bro. And he's going to scare Team NIP away with the heart of harass.
Actually, it's so sad. You kill his entire support cast, and you're like, oh, this sucks. Can't do it again.
They understood where Alk was on the map and that they could actually punish this. That was heads up from NIP.
Ignoring his net worth, they're only down by 1k, so they can very well take fights.
Yep.
Actually, they're up by 1k.
They're up by 1k. They have a gold advantage. Barely, but they do. And mid lane, they're going to continue to fight here. They want to go for Alchemist.
Stuns himself.
Yeah, they can change that. That is brutal. Dahak tries to bail him out with an ulti, but it's just not
trying
enough.
to TB behind on Puppy.
Yep.
Forcing the issue even further. Has a mech on a position 5 Nature's Prophet, 16 minutes into the game. And oddly enough, Yapsor is the lowest net worth on Secret. Take a mental screenshot of that one, because that does not happen very often.
Well, it did strangely happen last game as well, but that's because Puppy was illuminating, Cuddle blasting every single wave.
Even then showing the diversity of the versatility of this team.
Yeah, because we have to talk. Yapsor always is greedy for. He loves to, steal kills and get lots of far, but that's not every game.
Even though Puppy's the second highest net worth on all of Secret.
I mean, Messiah is playing incredibly selflessly, as is Nisha. Nisha's pretty much playing at like a 3 position / 3.5, so Puppy just, he's just in every fight getting kills, I guess, because I feel like I've seen Puppy die a number of times.
I'm getting some beast host fights from Secret here, where you just have one guy way at the top, and then everyone else is about the same right in the middle.
Nisha going to get pulled back in. There's a vacuum follow-up. The Ice Path's going to get before the Rolling Thunder. With the charge there, they're going to be able to chain stun Nisha with the ensnare, and Matu unable to save his buddy there. He just wants to get back to safety.
Weren't Secret the ones that actually knocked out Beast Coast? Or at that time, was...
You mean the TI?
Yeah. Weren't they the ones that knocked them out? Wasn't Secret?
It could have been.
Yeah, I think they took notes while that happened, because Infamous Gaming that's what it was, right? Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. As we see NIP thinking to run it back. I think they realize this doesn't get any better.
Yeah, they're just going to keep on fighting, even though, you know, Tanner's about to have a Desolator. That's going to give him some actual burst damage. That's going to maybe give him a shot at killing the Yauk. It feels like they need, like, a Spirit Vessel to stop all that health regen from the Chemical Rage and the Heart of Tarask. Not sure if they're anywhere near a Spirit Vessel on anyone, but...
They don't have the best catch on the side of Secret, but this here goes.
Sleep, Vacuum, Ice Path, NIP. Have they got the damage to follow this up? It's going to be tested here. The Astral Step going to go through, wiping through everyone, but the damage is easy. Secret sustaining through, and with the Guardian Greaves, they're just able to fight their way through. Marching not even close to going down. He's just brought down the Spirit Breaker, and Team Secret get completely caught in the wombo of all combos and shrug it off.
That's demoralizing. You gotta respect that they went for it. You know what their draft was meant to do, but we presented that concern that they might just tank it with the heroes they have, and that's one thing about this Alchemist pick that is really nice in theory against what NIP has brought to the table. And I'd say going as expected for Secret, but
even if Naga has more net worth than another item or two, that fight I feel like doesn't look too different.
Alc dropped to about 85% health there.
Yeah. I think the lowest I saw was like maybe one of the supports was on like a third or something.
And then they met. Yes. Desolator on your 5 position Nature's Prophet. That's actually the Nature's Prophet based on the network distribution. And we see the Hawk trying to make something happen here. And he's just going to try to TP out. Could have been worse. Barely got out before Rubik finished his TP. And
207. He's definitely one of the players that's looked really impressive on this NIP team. A big reason why they were able to qualify for the major.
They did. It's funny because Secret just really does make other teams look like pub stacks, because how often in pubs do you see a Naga Siren that's 2-0-7 and just loses the game?
That's... I think what you have to remember is NIP team qualified to the ESL 1 major before it got cancelled over teams like Nigma, like Liquid, like Alliance.
Yeah,
they've beaten some tough competition.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They obviously have 2 stand-ins, but that's the thing, right? It's not even like they're playing bad. It's not like they look bad. It's not like they are bad. They just, in comparison to Secret, I guess everyone is bad. Secret, or Matema Man gets gone on in the bottom lane, but to no avail.
I don't think they're ever going to have the damage in. Oh, the punch.
As his body lands on the sleeping opponents.
Right here, they do manage to get the Darkseer to make an Alchemist of their own. They're going to fight Alchemist with Alchemist is the plan, but the problem is Martu just being tickled by his illusion. They're going to lose the Darkseer first. Nisha bouncing around. They snowball onto the high ground. Actually pop a Rolling Thunder into the snowball. A cute little play for Team Secret. I didn't actually know you could do that. And
I did not know either. So I did learn something this game.
But that was kind of cool. I don't think it has normally much application, but it's fine there. It's the end for Team NIP. 25k gold lane. They're going to vacuum. Well, not vacuum. They're going to pull in Tanner, who's just trying to get the hell out of there. Fly back from the Spirit Breaker. Similar last game. We'll see NIP fight for the bitter end, but 22 minutes in, their base in shambles.
Perfection, and NIP doing their best to stave them off. You're down by 27k at 22 minutes in the game. That is, as far as I can tell, more than 1,000 net worth per minute differential. And Secret, once again, handing a whooping.
And Deso now as well. He's like, dude, I already got one of those. Don't need another. GG is home for PPD. And with that, Team Secret have secured their second 2-0 victory here in the